I don't think that NF's new EP is what everyone thinks it is. Now, I've been a huge NF fan for a long time. This hat is actually pure coincidence. I just wear it all the time. I did not wear it specifically for this video, although I do have an NF hoodie right next to me, if you're not convinced yet. And I started listening to NF at a time in my life that was very dark, a lot like many of his fans. So I started listening right about when Therapy Session came out, which, if I'm not mistaken, was 2016. Like it did for many other people, it really helped me articulate a lot of what I'd been going through and gave me something to hold on to and to really use as a rallying cry to push through depression. Now, something that a lot of hardcore NF fans go through is a period of time where they have to step back from his music. And what I've commonly heard articulated is, hey, I love his music. I think it's great. It helped me through a dark time in my life. But as I started to evolve, I had to step away from his music. I, like many other people, did this as well. So fast forward to when Hope came out a couple years ago when I was in college, I was ecstatic because not only did it really register with the period of life that I was in again, but I was really elated to see that NF was evolving. And I was just in general really happy for him. So I was like, this is a very good thing, right? And on top of that, I really liked that the album felt very honest and real and raw, just like all of his other music. It wasn't just, oh, all of a sudden I'm better and the sun is shining and it's amazing, it's beautiful. The Hope album was not someone looking back on dark times and being like, well, I'm glad that's over. It was a portrait of a person cresting the obsidian hill of darkness and finally seeing color filter into their life as they get a glimpse of a dawning horizon. Like just this tantalizing image of hope appearing in the distance. I personally love this disc. I have it. Hang on. It's falling apart. Get back in there. I have like a Bluetooth setup in my car, but it normally runs on CDs anyhow. And so whenever I don't have my Bluetooth, I'm listening to this sucker. And before I went to the concert, I listened to this over and over and over and over again. I have a lot of these songs pretty much memorized. So what I'm trying to say is Hope was an amazing album, and I was just floored, amazed, excited. Then Fear came out, and I watched the Fear music video, and I watched Washed Up the morning that it released, and I was crushed. I think other people were probably disappointed as well. It's not bad music. I like music. And I kind of thought to myself, it really felt like terminal lucidity. Terminal lucidity, if you're not familiar, is a phenomenon that happens. We don't exactly know why it happens, but when someone is about to die, usually from old age, they have this sudden resurgence of energy and personality. People who have Alzheimer's will have their, personality return. They'll, stand up and be ready and go, like, cook a meal. And then shortly after, they'll pass away. And I was like, well, this really feels like that. This feels like Hope was terminal lucidity, and then he went back to whatever was going on. But as I thought about it more, I became convinced that this is not a relapse. This is not the darkness that I think it first appears to be. Number one, this is something that NF has talked about in his interviews. He talks about this fear that his moment is going to pass and that he's going to be just kind of clinging on to something that used to be. And he's, said, I don't envision myself rapping when I'm 40 and I'm 30-some now. And he's also mentioned that sometimes he holds on to music and does not release it immediately. I mean, I feel like most artists do this, right? So I think, number one, I don't think this is exactly the season of life that he's in right now. I think this is something he's at least been through, but I would not be surprised if it's something that he was kind of holding off on while he was working on Hope and releasing and touring it, but still wanted to include it into the story because it's part of his story. Number 2, this is an EP. This is not an album. I think that Fear is the precursor to something far cooler and far greater. I think NF is on the cusp of his greatest era. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe NF will watch this and be like, that's amazing. I wish I thought that. But here's another thing to keep in mind. When you are fighting something, mental illness, generally, darkness, the moment before you get free from that darkness is usually when you feel the most opposition. It's almost like there's this final rallying cry of darkness trying to consume you and pull you back. And I think that's what this EP is touching on. And NF, says, like, in Washed Up, he says, am I on the verge of something great, or have I lost it? And I think this is the doorway to something really incredible. And sincerely, I do hope that he is doing better and continues to get better. Sounds so silly, but I actually do pray for NF, and I pray that God would have mercy towards him and would heal him and bless him for the way that he's blessed other people's lives, and return to him, tenfold the impact that he's had on other people. And part of that comes from hearing from someone else who's in his circles, like, hey, this guy really does deal with the stuff that he talks about. Like, it's very, it is a very difficult thing. And he actually said, like, if you think about it, like, pray for him. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just pray for him. I'll pray for NF, even if it seems silly. But NF is a person too. So those are my thoughts. This is not exactly a very polished video. I would like it to be a more polished video. Curious what you guys think. And additionally, if you watch this, all I have to say is, could you please do a collaboration with 21 Pilots? That would be so cool. That would be fantastic. I have a vision in my head. I know it's your guys' music. I know it's your guys' thing. I'm not trying to step on any toes, but it would be so cool. There's just something perfect. I see it. I hear it. I don't hear it, but I feel like it works. That's all I had to say. Goodbye.